What's up and welcome to Champions of Lore, a show about all the kick-ass stories behind some of Idle Champion's coolest campaigns and characters. Every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on twitch.tv/CNE Games or later on your favorite podcast service, B-Dave Walters and Erin M. Evans talk about all the Idle Champions lore that's fun to know about. If you're here with us live in the chat, you can leave a question that I, Treavor Bettis, will ask them later in the show. But until then, Erin, B-Dave, take it away.
Hi, I'm Erin M. Evans. I'm the author of the Brimstone Angels saga, a 6-book series set in the Forgotten Realms, featuring two of your favorite Idle Champions, Tieflings, Farida and Havilar. I also play Cecilia on Dungeon Scrawlers, Wednesdays, 6:30.
B-Dave is muted.
This is a super happy mime time. That was the point behind the interpretive dance that you audio listeners are really like missing out on.
Yeah,
there's a lot's happening on the screen. I'm just saying, but not all of it was words. B-Dave Walters, I say words about things. I'm all over the place, y'all. I wrote Dungeons and Dragons: A Dark and Wish. I'm the DM for the Black Dice Society, Thursdays at 4. D&D, Twitch, and YouTube, and just anywhere that I can be around Aaron, honestly. Yep.
And we're here today to talk about some Demogorgon. You gotta say it like that. It's fun to say it like that. Demogorgon. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I just get my nerd rage out of the way just from the very beginning? Stranger Things season 1. I was like, that's not a Demogorgon.
I know.
Like, it's a Demogorgon. I'm like, it isn't though.
I was literally about to say, I'm like, no, we're not here to talk about Stranger Things. And my friend suggested a bit last night that I couldn't come through on because I couldn't find the mug. I was gonna say that and then lift my coffees are for morning and contemplation mug, but couldn't find it.
Just, I'm like, you designed the monster. You could have made it anything. You took the time to have this unit. You could have been like, just call it a displacer beast. You could have been there. You were right there.
I was kind of surprised the ones in season 2 didn't get called displacer beast. They were on all fours, you know. No, missed chance.
Yep. I mean, it's a big flower-headed thing. So the Demogorgon is not that. If that's your background. It isn't that.
It is confusing to have the Stranger Things red box, which does just say Demogorgon for its stat block. I'm like, but it ain't though.
But it isn't at all. Yeah, which is wild because the real Demogorgon is equally improbable, to tell you the truth. But yes, Aaron, you were about to.
I was gonna say because you're right, because it's a very the shape of Demogorgon is important.
Yes,
it is. He's got two heads. Two he's mandrill heads, so
but he's like a wiggly
not
monkey.
Baboons, but related.
Yeah.
He's got boneless tentacle arms.
Yeah.
He's got lizard crocodile legs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very distinctive form that has not changed particularly.
And a long forked tail.
And a long forked tail. I did forget the long forked tail because that thing will mess you up.
Mm-hmm. It's the Demogorgon. Yeah, but again, two-headed mandrill monkey snake thing.
Right? You see a flower monster, you're like, Demogorgon?
Yeah, like bipedal flowerhead monster. Like, no, it isn't at all. But okay. Like, you know enough about this to nod towards it, but not enough to, get that right. Okay, all right. I don't know. I wonder if they were intentionally, kids or doofuses.
It's scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't read that part of the module yet. We just know that's the monster at the end, but we didn't get to the part where they described it. So
I mean, maybe it really was that meta, and it was there were so many layers here that we're her, you casuals, and they were 75th century logic. But again, I'm if it evaded us, it evaded everyone. So maybe you were overly meta. Yeah. But yes. The Demogorgon. Now, I know you are passionate about mandrill representation.
I got a little mad before because I was looking at the wiki again. They freshen up on some details, and it said that it has baboon head. What did it say? 2 baleful baboon heads with blue and red faces similar to those of mandrills.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going those are 2 different things. Those are 2 kinds of monkeys. They are in the same family. They're Cercopithecus, I think. They're old world monkeys, but they're different.
Old world.
We pray to the old world monkeys.
It's got matching monocles and separate eyes, and it's back when I was a lad, how things were done. Yeah, I'm the prince of demons. Yeah.
It's one of the ways you can tell old world monkeys from new world monkeys is their nostril shape. So new world monkeys have kind of vertical nostrils that are sort of flat on their face, and old world monkeys have more kind of human-y nostrils. like they're a little more like holes to the sides. But yeah, so anyway, it's not baboon heads. They're mandrill heads. Although I do notice in the 5th edition art, Demogorgon is no longer featuring the bright coloring, because the mandrill has like bright blue and red on the male, bright blue and red sections to its snout that have traditionally always been on Demogorgon. Now he sort of looks more like a drill, which is more closely related. Doesn't have that coloration.
Yeah.
But 2 heads, 2 of those, and they're 2 different personalities.
Yes, they have names
and don't get along. Yeah.
Right? Doesn't that sound awful?
One of my favorite things is that it straight up said in the lore, the Demogorgon would have taken over the Abyss by now if it weren't for itself.
I
love that so much.
If it could learn to get along, I mean, true. Girls, same. Yeah.
I do kind of feel like every demon lord says that. Like they're just, or at least for a certain subset, like they're like, actually, I would control the whole thing. I am the best, but stuff.
Well, there's the left head. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these correctly. The left head is Amiel, and the right head is Hethradia. And the Amiel head is charismatic and plotting. And the right head, Hethradia, is it his right or your right when you're looking at him? I don't know. is very aggressive and hostile and impulsive.
I feel like they would say they're both the right head.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're like, which one of you is going to tell me the other one's lying? Which, for the record, by the way, I get that riddle wrong 100% of the time.
Same.
I know you're supposed to, like, which one of you would tell me the truth, and no matter what they answered, that one is the liar, I think, because I don't know, I lost it, but that's not part of I can't do it, but that's not part of the Demogorgon anyway. Yeah, you have I don't know how you have a charismatic, murderous mandrill head, but apparently one of them's got a little polish, a little smooth, and the other one's a blunt instrument. The funny thing was the smooth one wants to be free of the aggressive one, but the aggressive one does not want to be free of the smooth one. It just wants the smooth one to shut up and do what it says. Again, it's like us, Erin.
Like a nightmare. Which one's that?
I was gonna say, you know what, chat? You tell us. No, don't. Never mind.
See what's great is from their perspective, I can always just swap the 2 of you, and who knows which one is the right one.
Yeah. I'm gonna call an audible and say that you're the smooth, charismatic head that probably wants to get away.
I appreciate that you don't think I'm trying to wreck everything, but I don't want to split up. I think Treavor wants us to get back on topic.
That is true.
It could be.
Are we not on topic?
I mean, you kind of are.
It's actually, honestly, it's probably one of those things that's like, what is this? Is this an Emiel day? Is this a Hethradia day? Like, how are you feeling, right?
Okay, so
maybe ask yourself, when you wake up in the morning, do I feel like the charismatic head that would like to shed my impulses? Or do I feel like the impulsive head who would like the charismatic, thoughtful part to shut up?
But both heads are actively plotting the overthrow of all things.
Right.
Remember that.
So do you not wake up in the morning plotting the overthrow of all things?
No, 100%. But I feel like I have a little greater inner alignment, but I've also only got the one head.
It's like the 2 wolves inside you thing. You have 2 mandrill heads inside you.
Which mandrill head are you gonna feed today?
Well, I feel like this is a good place to talk about, because there's actually a part in the lore where it's like there's one demon lord that consoled the Demogorgon, but consoled each head separately, and I'm like, but how though? Like I just had I don't know if you saw the movie.
Amiel.
I don't know if you saw the movie Stuck on You, but they just put they put a curtain between them.
Well, the funny thing is, also, but they've had at least 2 succubus consorts, and I feel like, isn't that a throuple then? Like, what are you?
Right? Like, what does this become?
How are you managing that when only one of you's happy? Because, but my favorite thing too is Demogorgon is the prince of the demons, and it's like, he just appointed himself that, but no one can take it from him. He's like, I'm the prince of the demons. And you're like, are you though? And he's like, am I though? And they're like, I guess you are. Yeah.
I know Gratz wants that title.
Yeah.
like
Grass
that,
wants
and
all
so
the
does
titles.
Orcus. Oh yeah, Grass is absolutely the vainest thing in the world.
I mean, first of all, Orcus is still too busy standing outside the Raven Queen's window with the boombox.
It's a priority thing.
It's my headcanon that the things with that succubus lady didn't work out, and maybe Demogorgon's looking at that Raven Queen now, and maybe that's the reason he hates Orcus so much.
It's true.
It's a triangle.
Oh, better yet. Here's what we got. So we got Orcus standing out with the boombox. I'm sorry, Dylan. You wanted a good show, and I'm giving you this.
This is a good show. This is content.
Orcus in the trench coat holding up the freaking boombox. But then like the camera like looks at the castle, and then Demogorgon's both heads come in like that dude in Encino Man. They're just like.
See, here's the thing. It's funny you say that because I super think leather pant class edgelord Gratz is the one that would be pushing up on the Raven Queen.
No. He's Nick Cage.
She's the one,
He's Nick Cage from Fast Times at Ridgemont High on the motorcycle, and he only talks in the TV edit.
Right. Yeah.
I do feel sort of like I like this that they're all going for the Raven Queen, but I also feel like the Raven Queen is going. I'm sorry, what? Who are you people? Get off my lawn before I turn on the acid sprinklers.
I mean, considering Orcus is invading, she's literally like, "Get off my lawn."
I just thought we could go to the pizza port.
Said, turn on the acid sprinklers. The Raven Queen's got those. You know she does.
100%.
Yeah, she's like, you know, or imagine somewhere now, just in the infinite realms of existence, Raven Queen is like, acid sprinklers. Yeah.
Oh, I hope there's some DMs taking notes right now in the chat. But let's wind things back. Where did the Demogorgon come from?
It is one of the oldest creatures. I think Demogorgon was there from the beginning. Like first edition, the Demogorgon was there.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I know, there is no pre-existing mythological basis for it. That this is a purely D&D creature.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm like, how you arrive at two mandrill heads, snake arms, and a forked tail? You're like,
it sounds like a dartboard. It definitely sounds like a dartboard decision.
It has a little parallel to like there are Egyptian minor deities or demons that are like piecemeal, like Amit the Devourer has the head of a crocodile and the four paws of a lion and the back end of a hippo, which are three of the most dangerous animals in that area, right? So it's a little that sort of piecing together, like what's a scary thing, right? It's smart like a monkey. It's got like tentacles like a dark horror. It's got legs like a dragon and a whip tail like a scorpion.
And it causes madness with a gaze.
Yeah.
There's definitely a soupçon of Lovecraftian.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually realize that until
this
this read through, because there were several things I'm like, that's Lovecraft. Like even like the symbol in Rage of Demons looks different, but like even in the Mordecai's book, it's just like, oh yeah, there's a Y-shaped symbol that the cult of it uses and can drive people mad. I'm like, oh, you mean like the yellow sign? Okay.
Yeah. It's well, because you know that was there definitely is like an Abraxas thing going on with some of the imagery, which I don't think Abraxas. I mean, after all this time in D&D, everything has shown up, but Abraxas had snake legs and a rooster head. I don't think Abraxas is in D&D. I don't think. I mean, again, issuing the disclaimer that everything is in D&D now. I will just say, as an aside, one of my favorite things about the Demogorgon, because I was glad to see that he got a boost. That in 5th edition, he's a CR26 monster. He's very powerful. I have sent him against a lot of level 20 groups, especially when we do charities, where it's like, if you donate, something terrible will show up. I'm like, I got a guy.
Demogorgon.
Yeah, because when Demogorgon hits you, the hit point loss is permanent. In seeing people's face when I'm like, no, he just took those 22 from you and now your maximum is reduced. A certain shock goes over people's face that warms my terrible heart. Yeah, that I fill my mug with player. Yeah.
I feel like there may be a reason you got nominated for the most evil DM award in the TT gifts, TTRPG gifts.
Challenge is, I feel like it was one of those that's just an honor to be nominated thing, but I was like, we mean nominated. What? Yeah. Sure.
Goodness.
Also, am I wearing a mug of the shirt that I'm wearing that is me on both? Maybe.
I'm half surprised the mask's not on.
It's right over there.
It's right over there, yeah.
Yeah, that's but so it's I think this creature in particular was one of the original in-game scourges, like original, because the especially back in older editions of the game, a lot of people that haven't played it, D&D was incredibly difficult. And there were many things that were insurmountable. And I do believe the Demogorgon was intended to be insurmountable. Like, you don't beat it.
Mhm.
Like, you maybe you try, maybe you contend, but you just kind of go and get worked.
Yeah.
So, you know.
When I was reading through the wiki last night, it looked like there were, like, in lore, 2 big origin stories. One that it is a primordial, that it just has existed forever. And then let's see, this is from the fandom page. One account claimed that this was the first of the, I don't know how to say this one, Tanari? Is that how you say that one? The Tanari, who originated out of the consolidated fear of mortal souls, which is metal AF. Shortly after the Oberith, Obox Ob was defeated by the Queen of Chaos. So this one, from what I understood, like, it is essentially saying, like, this was just an offshoot of, like, Baelors and other type of Tanari that was just its own thing, and then was just like, I'm just gonna get more powerful.
Yeah, it sounds like the expectation. So the Oberiths were in charge of the Abyss, and then the Tanari rolled in and took over. There's a few Oberiths left, but the Tanari are generally in the Ascendants.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like Demogorgon got made, and they went, ew, gross, and they and the Cybriacs were like, do better next time.
The Cybriacs said, do better next time.
Sorry, I guess the Queen of Chaos told the Cybriacs to do better next time.
Don't do it, B-Dave. I see you get. Don't you do it.
You made it
God
this way.
dang it.
You made it this way. You brought up my juicy boy. I didn't. I didn't.
You literally
Yeah.
did. You raised it up into the camera view.
His little mad face there. I don't know if you can make it out, but he got a mad face. He's not just a chained up juicy boy. He doesn't want to be a chained up juicy boy. Mm-hmm.
Evil Berserk in the house, juicy boy in the house.
I just made a mistake. I was like, literally, I was like, gonna turn him because he stares at me, right? And it's like it's off-putting. The backside's even worse.
That's not. Yeah, it's not great.
There's no good way to look at the Cybriacs.
No.
Yep.
Does not have a photogenic side anywhere.
Also, got an extra mouth, and the extra mouth is goobery down there. That's a goobery mouth.
Oh, that was a descriptor I didn't need in my life.
So again, when that guy is like, that's a bit much.
Yep.
That lets you know everything you need to know about the Demogorgon. Yes.
Yep.
The other wild thing to me that I did not know was that the Demogorgon not only has a plane, but a house.
Yeah, I think most demon lords have that. They get a lair, or in Grat's case, 3 layers that he says, "This is all mine," and then they have their
Edge Lord.
fortress. Totally.
Yeah.
And then they have their fortress, all of which have suitably dramatic names. So Demogorgon's lair, I believe, is called Gaping Maw.
Yes.
Yep. Which is, again, he dates a lot of succubi. I don't know what to tell you.
Also, I mean, I feel like if you're going to be the Prince of Demons, you have to, right? You've got to bring it. So, and I've forgotten the name of his fortress. Sorry, go ahead.
See, I would love to see a demon lord that was just like literally Mr. Rogers, just straight up and down, just so like calm. The place seems nice, like soft spoken, because that would actually be more terrifying.
I know.
Because, you expect them to be all like, bow before me in my infinite power. And you're like, yeah, okay, let's go. Roll initiative.
Got it.
Yeah, right.
But you walk in and the Demogorgon's got like a face mask on each one, cucumbers over it. There's like incense burning, little chimes going off in the distance. Yeah, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah. With my tentacly arms. That is, again, and it is, I alluded to this earlier, but it is simultaneously snake-like and ape-like.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how that works out practically, but I get it. To your point previously, Aaron, those are both very strong creatures. You know, apes and snakes. But I don't know. It almost makes me wonder if like Gygax was just particularly afraid of those two things.
I mean, that is one thing how
No,
monsters
sorry.
got made back in the day.
Go back, look for the pattern. How many monsters are ape-based or snake-based?
Exactly.
Figure some things out.
Exactly. I need to hit up Luke Gygax and ask him. I'm like, look, what was up with the Demogorgon? this is a lot's happening.
Have a formative trauma at a zoo once?
Yeah, but with like 2 mandrills, you know, because again, it's not baboons. To your point, he's like, no, mandrills. Screw them in particular. Yeah, right. So that's yeah, it's
His
go ahead.
palace is called Abysm.
Abysm. I was looking through that
A
trifecta.
second fortress called Ungorthretic.
The main fortress though is wild because it's described as 2 towers that are snaked together, and then up at the top have giant skulls on them. Again, super metal, but I would love it to be a nice relaxing retreat inside.
Right. It's just really low key.
Yeah.
Like he's actually embarrassed by it, you know?
Yeah.
That it very much has this like HGTV at home vibe where he can just kind of like
But I love the idea that it's the angry head that's doing all this. It's just like, I just really like marble.
Yeah. And the smooth head is just very like that's the one thing they agree on is their design aesthetic. Yeah. Right.
Wait, do we just cast the Property Brothers as the Demogorgon?
They look kind of mandrill like if you think about it. Jonathan and yeah.
Makeup.
Oh, but Jonathan Drew. There we go.
Yeah, Jonathan Drew. I had John. I was missing Drew. That's true though. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, and they both have they're very high ranked karate practitioners, and so there you go. So there's a combat component to the Mandrill brothers.
I'm actually gonna bring this one up now instead of later. Jay put the text document. Personally, I would not describe the Demogorgon as non-binary. Most sources that I've seen refer to the Demogorgon as he, but not like who knows if you want a Demogorgon to be non-binary. Go off, I guess. Which is that was a question that was in there about it being non-binary. But
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
Plural.
I mean,
plural.
it is non-binary in the sense that there are 2 of them.
Yeah. When I was
Yeah.
reading the entry and it kept referring to Demogorgon as he, there was a moment where I'm like, why does that seem weird to me? And then I'm like, oh, because I feel like it should be a Venom they. Like,
yeah. but as a unit, they are Demogorgon.
Yeah.
You know. And again, they did have their relationship with Shami Amore, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. But
You're doing it exactly the mispronunciation I do. So canon.
which I think between the 2 of us is now canon. But wait, you pronounced the other one then, because I went in on that one. Yeah, which is where I would have gone. So there you go. Hey, internet high five. You know,
I feel like that's an emote we need is just a stamp that says canon for us. Just
like
fill the chat with the stamp.
We said it on the internet. It's done. There it is.
There we go.
Yeah. So Demogorgon has had these Queen of the Succubi consorts that inevitably are messing with Demogorgon to their own ends. Weird. Who'd have thought? He's caught on to one of them. She got in prison. She's still sore about it. And the other one is currently rolling. Because it's funny when if you read a lot of the wikis and things, a lot of them are written in the past tense, which is, well, one, because those things happened, you know, but in ostensibly there is a moving forward timeline that it was, I think, 1479 was the last time they were counting, but I mean I think we got to be north of 1500 by now.
I think we're still in 1497. I think that's where it currently is.
Because 1479 was a big year.
Yeah.
So that's the current state of things. You know, but we talked about this before about the difference between the demons and the devils, though. Demogorgon is the highest ranking demon, though, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Which
But
again,
I feel like there are demon lords who are like,
Excuse me.
like just to be clear, like
I know there
but
are, but then,
yeah, but nobody's
then
nobody's taken that title, right?
but Demogorgon is like,
come at me.
yeah, right, and they're like, never mind. I apologize for my outburst.
I just think it's funny. There's like I talked about Egyptian mythology earlier. There's a thing in Egyptian mythology that I also find funny that there is lots of gods saying I am the greatest god, and nobody challenges them on this. But it's like you can't all be the greatest god, and you clearly are letting the sun god run things.
I mean, how many
what
rappers
does this mean anymore?
How many rappers are the greatest and the king and the goat? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the same thing.
There you go.
You know.
Yeah.
But he does get the Prince of Demons title, and no one has taken it from him.
It's true.
It's funny
And
that
I don't like that this makes me feel like defending Gratz because I've just spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Gratz is the edgelord, you know?
Yeah. He has three layers. I'm just saying.
One of them is entirely made up of Hot Topics.
Oh, literally. You know, but it's not even Hot Topic. It's freaking Spencer Gifts.
Oh my god.
Gratz's layers of Spencer Gifts.
Yeah.
It's just constantly playing AFI.
Wow. He made it like that though, you know? I mean,
Before it was
yeah. He's got a neat sword though. Yeah.
That's true.
He's, to be clear, a total dirtbag.
Yeah,
Of course they are.
yeah.
I mean, they're all the demons are all
true.
the demons
They're
are
awful. They're
dirtbags.
all
I mean, go look at the image in Tasha's cauldron and everything. There's one in there where Gratz is in the mirror and like Tasha has this look like, please stop calling me.
Yeah, like no, Gratz listens to a lot of The Cure. Yeah. Although Demogorgon listens to like a lot of Insane Clown Posse. Demogorgon's a juggalo. One of the Demogorgons has this juggalo. That's the root.
Better.
That's
you
the root
it
of their
better.
conflict.
I don't care that you wear the makeup. Could you just not put it on while we go to sleep?
Magnets. How does that work? Yeah. Yeah, which is when think about it. I'm just saying, think about it.
Yeah. Oh, some Master Burglar Chet says the other is a Taylor Swift fan. I love it.
That's actually more evil. More evil that way. 100%.
So the Demogorgon has some worshippers. Actually, before we go to the material plane worshippers, I want to talk about the worshippers on his plane. Because it's really wild to me that's like what lives out in the ocean around his fortress. Krakens, these weird talking manta ray things. They all worship him though.
You know, I feel like all of them worship him within proximity. Like I feel like there's a lot of I feel like there's more mean girling amongst the devils.
And a bullet. That's the other one.
Which, you know, for the record, for those of you that you are not clear on the distinction, you know, the devils are actually creatures of law and order. Like they can be dealt with and reasoned with, and demons are creatures of chaos. That's why they don't get along. So I feel like when Demogorgon's around, he's got lots of worshipers. You know, and then leaves, and they're like, "Screw that guy." Yeah, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love the idea of a giant endless abyssal sea filled with bullets, krakens, and these manta ray people, and they're just like, "Yay, Demogorgon!"
Aboleths are the worst.
They are.
They're the worst. Well, I mean, no, Juicy Boy's the worst. He's looking at me. I can't. Again, I gotta put it back because he keeps staring at me, and then I turn around behind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good to have something in the background of your computer that makes you go, ah, every time.
Yeah, it's just I keep making eye contact with him.
Yeah.
Icons the realms, boneyards. Get your Juicy Boy now.
Do it. But on the material plane, the normal creatures that worship Demogorgon are troglodytes, Kuatoa. Am I saying that one? Kuatoa?
This is one that we've done before. What's the thing say?
Here's the problem that I got. Kuatoa are a race in D&D. Koatoa is a location in the X-Men, and that's
the problem I have.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Just a sidebar. You may be heading here, Trevor. Did you guys see what the Quito call Demogorgon?
No.
They don't call him Demogorgon. They call him Limu Goo.
That's right. I saw that and I nearly died.
Flames. Elmo and Flames gif right there.
Like
Limu Goo Goo. Limu Goo Goo. Limu Goo Goo. Limu Goo Goo. Don't you? I mean, can't you see like a round of fire?
Oh,
and there are
100%.
just as many O's in that as you think there are listeners.
I also
there are
appreciate
6 O's in that name.
Well, Limu Goo Goo. Yeah, that's that. I also love the fact that the penitent of the Demogorgon can't summon him. He won't show up.
Yeah.
But he will send lesser Demogorgons for you, like Fisher Price, my first Demogorgon. Imagine that. You know, you're expecting like 18-foot Devourer of Worlds, and it's like 5'9". But more hate-filled because it's little.
Squeeze it goes, and it sends out the madness ray.
It's like the Pillsbury Demogorgon. Madness.
Tickle me, Demogorgon.
Its tentacles.
Yep. Madness.
We have made nightmares.
This Tickle Me Demogorgon.
Tickle
Wow.
me Demogorgon.
Arguably, is not the actual Demogorgon a Tickle Me Demogorgon at least once?
At least once.
At least once.
It's true.
You're like,
Oh my
maybe
goodness.
it's just tummy Zerberts. Maybe that's all he's needed this entire time. I will say this one thing. I'd be remiss not to point it out. That, you know, the game is gotten more sensitive in its portrayal of, you know, insanity, mental illness, any of that sort of thing. I know even the use of the word madness is a hot button for some people. It's rough for me because you got creatures like the Demogorgon that it's like, no, he just looks at you and drives you bonkers. Like, I don't know what's the the polite way to express that, but I think we all comprehend that a monster that supernaturally just drives a person, you know, that's what we're talking about. This is not a commentary on real human beings' mental health. Yeah. Purely a fantasy, fictitious, supernatural effect. So much so in 5th edition, in the stat block, there's specific types of madness that, that the Demogorgon, like the thing it drives you to do, things like paranoia and things that aggression, stuff like that. If you're looking for it, it so happens that I has right here already.
Oh my gosh. It's like you're prepared and
it's almost like I thought of this. Yeah, it's like things like someone's plotting to kill me. I need to stop them first. There's only one solution to my problems: kill them all. Accurate.
Listen, they didn't need to put your DMing advice in there.
You know, I'm like, just at me, okay? Like, why did you publish my DM notes? There is more than one mind inside of my head. If you don't agree with me, I'll beat you into submission and get my way. I can't allow anyone to touch anything that belongs to me. They might try and take it away from me. So also, if the Demogorgon is on the prime material plane, its lair action is all local wildlife starts to become aggressive in Madden.
Oh, whoa!
Like, more snakes and lizards and things start showing up, and then they get all aggressive. And if the people stay there too long, they get aggressive. So that's a very
cool.
Yeah. That's a very good inciting incident. You just have this like peaceful town that just like everybody starts brawling and like all the animals and like sheep are biting people and stuff. It's because the Demogorgon is just around within a mile. Yep.
I will say that I do feel like there is a slight discrepancy for me between the imagery in 5th edition's Demogorgon and the fact that its size category is huge and apparently is only 18 feet tall. I'm like, that dude looks a little bit bigger than 18 feet tall.
Yeah, 18's not. Well, I guess it could be huge because
that's what a giant is.
Yeah,
they're considered huge.
I would have thought of that as the top end of large, personally, but I mean, I guess that's just semantics, which literally they've clarified. They're like, no, we're here to tell you that guy's huge. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Because my head, Demogorgon is a big boy. Perhaps even like you can see in a certain video game that I possibly am spoiling.
There's also like a picture for the 3rd edition art that includes what might be one of his succubus lovers and might be an enthusiastic cultist, but there's
Porque no los dos.
a naked lady on an altar, and the size of her suggests that Demogorgon is quite a lot bigger than 18 feet.
Yeah.
So
if that's a human,
that's true. Maybe it's a pixie or something. I didn't consider that.
There's also that quote unquote mini that I've debated about buying for several years now because it's very expensive. But that dude's just like that big, and I'm like, I'd say more than 18 feet.
See, it's funny. I do prefer the 5th edition art because the first edition, the first edition art, it looks like something out of Dark Crystal, which is objectively terrifying. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But like very much like Jim Henson could have made the first one. And then 3rd edition, the same thing with like I don't know. It's like, it's not scary enough. And then 4th edition, he's too colorful, even though he's a mandrill.
That was the first time I ever saw the Demogorgon. It was on the cover of, I think it's the Monster Manual 2 in 4th edition. Yeah. And I remember seeing it and like at the game store, I'm just like, what is this fella? He seems like, so cranky.
Like somebody needs tummy serpents. Yeah.
And then you see the 5th edition one, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Like if that came stalking out of a cave, you're like, oh, I'm objectively in danger.
Yeah.
Right. Like, okay, right.
If that one's only 18 feet tall, the others are like kaiju sized, though. Does that change it?
Well, see, this was kind of my headcanon, is that like the actual Demogorgon is this massive big boy, and then the aspects, the ones that you summon, the tickle me Demogorgons, they're the 18 feet tall guys.
I mean, possible.
That's my headcanon, though. We're not getting the stamp on that one. That's my headcanon.
And a lot of those creatures also, their size is variable because they say so. You know,
right.
It's like I am what I am.
Who cares about reality? Let's just make some weirdness. Seems like demon tagline a little bit.
Well, yeah. Also,
blood.
I think the 3rd edition art for Demogorgon, I think that's 3rd. He's like super gigantic, like.
Oh, I see the one you're talking about now.
Out of the Abyss. It's not, that was still 5th edition, I think. But in Out of the Abyss, he's like huge. Yeah. On there. So
I do want to say though, Aaron, that thing you just said, who cares about reality? Let's make some weirdness. That should be like your equivalent to Adam Savage's "I reject your reality and substitute my
own." Yeah. Although here. I'm about to send you guys here in chat a really neat picture I just saw of Orcus and Demogorgon beefing with each other. I think this is 4th edition.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I'm dropping it here in our chat though.
Yeah, that one is actually kind of terrifying to me.
Yeah, well, when you're the little guy in the middle, 100%.
Yeah,
but I appreciate that Dragonborn is like, you both can get it. Let's go.
Catch these claws.
Exactly. They're again rated E for everyone. Yeah, but if you notice the Demogorgon's head, like one is yelling at the PCs and one's yelling at Orcus.
Yeah,
like both of them are like, "You're both stupid." Yeah. And also we haven't clarified: is it the Demogorgon's left or our left that makes the smooth head and the mean head?
Porque no los dos.
Porque no los dos. Because I personally, I feel both of them think they're the smooth head. And the other one's the brute. Yeah.
I love that.
I really enjoy that interpretation a lot.
It does sound like kind of a fun campaign though, where it's just like the Demogorgon has reached an accord with itself, and you're like, oh shit.
You go. I always come back to that when the evil people are cooperating, like the Axis powers in World War II, that you had 3 different groups. Well, the Italians were more kind of just riding the wave, but both the Germans and the Japanese were like, we will conquer the whole world. We'll betray them, but later, so having the Demogorgon just be like, okay, we're just going to agree long enough to subjugate all things. And in the back of the mind be like, but I'll beat him later. You know what I mean? And then you have kind of this like singularity of purpose. Mm-hmm. That would be a really neat inciting incident, I think. I do know it is possible to have the Demogorgon as a warlock patron.
I was literally about to bring that up.
That's always weird to me. The relationship with like warlock patrons versus cleric patrons, because a lot of the gods can be either.
Yeah,
it's like this is actually a thing. I don't know how much it changed, but in 4th edition, I felt like I'm just like not going to go the full warlock rant. I'm just going to go a tiny one.
We're saving up for that day.
The implication was that basically your powers were come from pulling from the plane, and your patron was like the conduit to the plane. And so it was a thing that your patron could be something as low level as a Cambion. You could theoretically have an imp patron if you didn't want someone who it's more like having someone get you an illegal cable hookup. right? Or be like, hey, I'm going to give you some stuff for my work. Right.
Yeah.
We have a sort of mutually beneficial arrangement here. But now it's like, oh, I'm gonna like I feel like it gets phrased a lot as I'm going to take power directly from you, the entity, in which case, why are you not a cleric? That is a cleric. If you can have a cleric of Demogorgon and a warlock of Demogorgon and they behave in the same kind of way, what's the difference?
It's on the meta level, it's the type of arrangement you've cut with them. Like clerics, like I worship you, you're my god. Warlocks, there's something in it for me. But in both
cases, the entity is saying behave in this way, and I'll continue to give you powers.
Yeah,
but so I feel like it's like saying like succubi and like old school Uranus, and it was like, oh, they both evilly seduce, but one lawfully seduces and one chaotically seduces, so it's different. It's like it's not different. You just wanted extra sexy devil ladies.
Self-validating for the record. Yeah, no, I agree. The line is a hazy one, especially when
just make it be about the plane. Ignore the patron.
It's
or
to
do
me
whatever you want with the patron.
To me, it's also complicated now in the sense that you've got beings that can be warlock patrons that can't be cleric deities, like the new Unearthed Arcana Warlock of the Undead. Strahd is a warlock patron, but you cannot be a cleric of Strahd. I mean, I guess you could if your DM says you can, but Strahd's not a god.
Yeah.
So it's
this also, I think, because I'm just gonna keep
do it. No, go in on it.
So this is another thing. It's like, okay, if we prioritize the patron, if that's the most important thing, you end up getting locked into this story where you've made a pact with this entity that's generally evil and way more powerful than you. And at some point, you're going to have a reckoning where you have to decide what you're going to do about that. And that's fine if you want to tell that story. But there's other stories you can tell. And if you have a patron who's a lower level than you can get into things where like, oh no, my patron is now in trouble with their boss. What am I going to do? Right? Like you can have things where you don't have to kind of go like, why am I allowed to have a unicorn as a patron? The unicorn has a lower CR than like I have. That doesn't make any sense. But if the unicorn is just like kind of passing you the power, right? That's a different story. Things like Brimstone Angels has a romantic component to the Warlock Pact, right? If your patron has to be a super powerful entity, that's weird and a totally different thing, right? Yep. And so like if you just make it about like I'm pulling power from the plane and then who am I pulling it through, like you have more options and you don't get into these situations as much. And you can if you want to, it is possible, but you have more options.
Is it Frida or Cecilia that's definitely not a warlock?
Cecilia is definitely not a warlock.
I thought Cecilia is definitely not a warlock.
But she does have this special friend who's an archfey called Haranuachu, the Heart of the Piercing. That she met. It's fine. Like it's not anything weird.
Yeah, don't make it weird. Yeah.
No.
Well, it's then again you have the Celestial Pack warlocks too, where you're like theoretically there's like a Solar that's like I'll swap your soul for Eldritch Blast, sure. Because I think where the problem is theoretically a cleric is very highly informed by the deity theoretically up to and including divine intervention where that deity's gonna like do a thing for you. Warlocks are not really defined by their patron. They're defined by the pact but not the patron, unless you do it narratively. So when you're like Warlock of the Demogorgon, I mean, if I had somebody that wanted to play a Warlock of the Demogorgon, I'd narrow it down to which head are you a Warlock?
I honestly feel like if you're going to have a demonic, like I get devils and demons are both fiends. They're both encompassed by the Fiend Pact. But I am kind of like, if you want a demonic pact, I would be inclined to make something that had more chaos inherent in it. Like you need a different demon for each level. You have to go make it like kind of have a different kind of titled agreement or something. Or like you get the big boost of power and at some point it might explode on you, right? Because they don't have an order. That doesn't like...
Yeah, it makes sense to have a devil as a warlock patron, not a demon. Because in my headcanon, speaking of headcanons, Trevor, in my headcanon, Demogorgon's not even aware that he's got warlocks.
I love that.
That was kind of the wild thing that I saw in here, though, is that it said it prefers warlocks that summon quasits, and I'm like, but why though?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe he's just like, they're just so adorable. Why didn't you have one? Everybody needs one.
That a pact with the Demogorgon is sort of like you've spliced into his cable and he doesn't know. And if he ever finds out, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, like he's really gonna be sore about it. Yeah,
like he might just show up and be like.
Because I also would be that person that, like, you roll in to fight the Demogorgon and he shuts your powers off. Like, how about now? And you're like, oh no, yeah. Like, it's like those are some really nice hexes you got there. It'd be a real shame if something were to happen to him.
That'd be amazing. And then an archdevil shows up and be like, "Hey,
yo,
a deal. Do you want to crush my enemy?"
So again, that's when Gratz slides into your DM. Like,
but wait, I really like the idea that like Demogorgon, you're stealing the cable from, and then he gets mad and turns it off. Then AT&T shows up with like, we got a really good deal for you though.
but see, that's back to the great old one when AT&T is your warlock patron. Yeah.
Let's check out what chat's been up to while we've been talking. Master Burglar comes in and says, today on Lore, monkey facts. And you know what? 100%.
You're
Anytime
welcome.
you want them.
You're welcome.
Like B-Dave said in our chat yesterday, lore is lore.
Honestly, you guys, we really were, because we're aware of the curving routes we take through some of these things. And a point was made that it's like, I can't believe we get to do some of the things we do. And I'm like, lore is lore, man. Lore is lore. You know? We're champions.
And you walk away with D&D facts and also real world facts. So now you know how to tell an old world monkey from a new world monkey.
That's true.
And also why Demogorgon's a terrible warlock patron.
We are champions of lore, not champions of order. We are embodying. Yeah, we're embodying demon energy versus devil energy. I have to say.
Cassius 335 says the three of you aren't the Demogorgon. You're King Ghidorah. Not sure which one is the silly head though. It's 100% this one. Let's be real.
Silly head.
Let's be real.
We're not even King Ghidorah. We're Hiram McDaniels. He's the purple head. So, yeah, that's okay though. The purple head's important.
It is,
I think I'm the Southern genteel head of Hiram McDaniel.
Cassius 335 comes back and says
literally a 5-headed dragon.
Literally a 5-head dragon. Demogorgon is not in any way a gorgon, correct?
No.
Well,
I don't think, is he?
Well, there is the eye magic thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So kind of.
So actually,
sorta.
This is a thing I did notice when I was doing a little research, is that Demogorgon is actually a term used in like demonology. And there are ideas about where it came from, but probably it's a transcription error.
So actually, I've the next person's got a little something about that. Herkwork comes in and says, a Demogorgon is a deity or demon associated with the underworld and envisaged. There we go. Reading's hard. Envisaged as a powerful primordial being whose very name had to be taboo. Although often ascribed to Greek mythology, the name probably arises from an unknown copyist misreading of a commentary by a 4th century scholar. Not going to pronounce that. The concept itself can be traced back to the original misread term demiurge. Demiurge. There we go.
Again, back to Gnosticism. We came back around to Abraxas. Shout out to our homie. Our chicken-headed, snake-legged homie.
A lot of descriptors there.
I didn't make it up. It's true. Yeah. Well, it's a rooster head, but a rooster's a chicken. So there you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of jokes about the nice interior of the Demogorgon's house. For instance, Master Burglar says, can he get a manicure with tentacles? I mean, sure, why not?
Maybe that's what he's so mad about. He can't. I mean, again, he's got a very colorful face. That mug is beaten for the gods, you know. But imagine, we've already established that when the Demogorgon hits you, it reduces your hit point maximum. Imagine if it does that to itself. So it's like trying to be beautiful and can't. Maybe that's all it's mad about. So again,
how hard would it be to apply eyeliner with a tentacle? Let's be real.
And then you got 4 eyes. Yeah, they're all blinky, probably.
And maybe one of them's like, I don't want makeup today.
I mean, so think about it. Orcus secretly just wanted to be loved. Demogorgon secretly just wants to be pretty.
It's true. It's true.
And I think Gratz just secretly just wants to be emo still. Like I feel like Gratz.
I don't think it's a secret. I think he's just like.
Yeah, but he thinks that he's after some other thing. No, this is the thing.
I enjoy the idea too that Gratz thinks oh, secretly I want to be emo. It's like, it's not a secret, buddy.
Literally, we're all 100%
You literally just
clear.
said that out loud to all of us.
Yeah, right. Also, you're wearing leather pants.
Reaver01 starts singing, everybody was Gorgon fighting. The moves were fastest. No,
Surely not everyone was Gorgon fighting.
Where was that one? Catch 23. I have a kobold summoner villain who at some point I will absolutely need to try and summon Demogorgon and just stand there with little wiggly puppy equivalent of the Demogorgon in his hand right in front of the party, then squeeze it and fire the hate beats out of its mouth.
Yes.
There it is. Madness. It's true. Again, we said it on here. It's a thing now.
Oh my god, that's just that's sending me. Cassius 335 does a cleric of Demogorgon get Eldritch Blast? I would 100% allow that. If that was a thing, I would 100% allow that.
You know, I wouldn't, because he's being a chaos. He'd make you cut a second deal, and then you got to have ranks of warlock and cleric. Those are different things. Yep.
It's
True. Devil's literally in the details, even though it's a demon. But there you go.
Robo Goblin 01. I'm actually rethinking the whole voting thing and just giving the most evil award to B-Day.
Thank you for coming with me on this journey, Robo Goblin. I've been at this, again, everybody's like, curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. I'm like, I feel like I've been foreshadowing this for like 3 years now. So
I do want to give Robo Goblin a shout out here. If you don't know, Robo Goblin does a Twitter account called at TTRPG. Well, it's TTRP GIF, and they're doing an award thing right now with a bunch of awesome community people and shows and whatnot, and you can go vote on which is going to win the award. Yes, B. Davis up for most evil DM. Yeah. Yeah, Garwar put it there in the chat. So definitely go check that out and definitely follow them because it is joyous and great.
I'm just saying, does anybody else have gleefully confirmed TPKs? I did it for charity. I did it to help. I didn't just do violence. I did violence to help people.
I didn't do violence.
And Demogorgon was the one. Demogorgon and Gratz were both there for that TPK because that was part of it. I just started bringing in like elder abominations that they had to 1v1 and couldn't.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's Demogorgon. Demogorgon was the inciting incident.
Wait,
of that adventure.
Could the Demogorgon like in full consciousness say 1v1 me, bro? It'd be like 1v2 me, bro.
1v1v1 me. See,
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah,
there we go.
But I feel like it's crossbody. Like the left hand is the right tentacle. Like that's why they're mad all the time. And then the tail's forked. Like they got shared custody of the tail.
Shared custody.
Yeah, just mad.
There was a whole court thing going on.
Maybe just Demogorgon just needs a nap. He just a mad. It's a mad Demogorgon.
He's a
mad. He's a man monkey. He's a man monkey. Right. Especially because baboons in particular, and mandrills are in the same family, but baboons are horrific creatures. And if you ever, the movies, The Snows of Kilimanjaro from the 70s, that happened when the baboons invaded and attacked a town and killed a bunch of people. That is true. That happened. Yeah. The baboons were just like, you know what? Not today.
I remember the movie Congo came out about the time when I was younger and learning about horror films.
With the glove.
But I remember seeing the trailer for that and just thinking, is nothing safe? can nothing just not be a horror movie?
Amy with her freaking power glove. Yep, I remember that. Michael Crichton wrote that.
Love the
and the male
glove.
mandrill is actually, I just had to double check this, because they are one of the most sexually dimorphic species. So the males and the females are totally different. And the males are so huge. They are the heaviest monkeys in the world. So like take the baboon and then like make it bigger, like make it more.
But still more extra though. Very colorful. Yeah. They're drag monkeys. They're drag baboons. That's what mandrills are. Drag baboons.
Sorry, the thing that just almost killed me there was Jay put in the text document about the tail thing they have shared. They get control of the tail alternating weekends.
They're just trying to create a stable existence for the tail.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that is going to do it for our lore this week. Erin, B-Dave, where can people find you and what awesome things are you working on?
You can find me on Twitter at Erin M. Evans. You can watch me Wednesdays on twitch.tv/Dungeon Scrawlers, where I play the aforementioned Cecilia, and 6:30 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
B. Dave Walters to say words about things. You can find me nearly 7 days a week somewhere doing something, and also recording podcasts with these beautiful people that I think is going to come out soon.
At some point. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We've
banked so many episodes, and I'm like, at some point, are people gonna like hear these and stuff?
I
guess.
know,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, it is all a part of a continued effort to for all of us to just get to spend more time with Erin. We're just making stuff up to get her to talk to us. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff, but Thursdays, Black Dice Society, 4 p.m., D&D, Twitch, and YouTube. The first 4 episodes are up now on VOD. Please watch it. It is delightfully terrible, and we're having a grand old time.
I'm gonna be honest, the last episode nearly killed me because I was not prepared for a certain voice that came up from you.
What's the Albrecht? Hello. That's the voice, yeah.
My wife had headphones on, and I went, "No, stop! Take those off and listen to B. Dave."
It's the accents of the Del Munster, yeah. That's how they talk there. Yes. Hello. Sehr gut. Yeah. Yeah. No, nothing at all terrible happening there. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Not at all. Absolutely not. Everything's fine and peaceful in the domains of dread. You can find me on the Difficulty Class podcast every Friday, as well as Tuesdays on Champions of Psychology here on twitch.tv/CNE Games at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it will actually happen this week and not have my entire power cut out for 16 hours. Which was great. Totally didn't need that.
Bold of you to assume it hadn't happened yet. Do not curse the fates. Do not you will be smote by hubris.
I hate it. And soon you'll be able to hear the three of us on Writing About Dragons and Shit, a writing podcast. You may want to pay attention to the Twitter account at About Dragons this week, because there may be some sort of certain announcement thing happening. Maybe, I don't know. You should check it out and follow it. I want to thank Jay, as always, for moderating in the chat and doing an awesome job, because they are so good at what they do. And I want to thank Codename Entertainment for letting us talk about some D&D and the Property Brothers being a demonic lord. If you miss any part of this show, you can
where's the lie, though? Just think about it. Where's the lie?
But see, now I want to swap it and have the Demogorgon hosting Property Brothers, where one tentacle's banging away on a hammer and the other one's just like, "I'll get you great property prices, don't worry."
No. The Demogorgon has to have a spinoff of Love It or List It, where the heads are giving you very different advice.
Oh my god.
Simultaneously.
How did we miss that one? Because they hate each other. So good. Oh my god. And it's just those closest scenes, the two heads look at each other. It's like, "What do you mean it's not ready yet? I have buyers coming in on Tuesday."
The crown molding took extra time to ship in. You know? I can't work under these conditions. I try and stalk off and can't.
If you missed any part of the show, you can listen to it later as a podcast at 2 p.m. And for podcast listeners, don't forget you can write into championslore@codenameentertainment.com with any of your lore questions or suggestions. And let's see, there's stuff happening this week that you should definitely follow.
Are you going to mention Shaka? I didn't mention Shaka.
Yes.
New champion.
Yes.
This week?
Shaka is coming this week from Rivals Waterdeep. And it's Wednesday is releasing Celestial Warlock patron. Really freaking cool character, and cannot wait to throw them into my formation. That's the word.
Formation.
That's the word. There's also going to be some extra streaming going on Thursday and Friday. I don't want to get anything wrong about it, so I'm not going to do it right here, but you can go check that out on the Idle Champions social page. I think that's about it. So until next week, Champions out.